Madam, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, sir. Sir, I belong to Chandigarh. I've done my schooling from Kapu Convent School, Chandigarh, following it up with a BCom honors from DAV College, Chandigarh. And I've done also an MBA in finance from Punjab University, University Business School to be precise. My parents, my father is a retired IAS officer, my mother is a homemaker. I have two elder sisters, both of them are married.
So you completed MBA in 2012.
Yes, sir.
After that, did you take up some job?
No, sir.
So what have you done?
So I've been preparing for civil
That's
service.
very good. And your state choices, Haryana, Punjab, so it must be recently or Chandigarh, is it?
Yes.
Recent. Service choice, why do you prefer IAS before foreign service?
Sir, I want to work in India itself with mainly the rural people of India and also serve the community at large. And I don't think that as a foreign service officer I would be able to do it.
And why rural people? Why do you want to work with rural people?
Sir, because largely my life has been concentrated around the urban areas and I haven't had experience of living close to the rural areas and working with those people. So I want to have that kind of experience and learn from that.
So from learning point of view, you are going to service or?
So both, I think ICE is such a platform that allows me to work as well as learn. So both motives.
Just one question more. You have given a daily advance service, Group B services, serial number 11, 12, 13. And after that you have given PNT accounts, then all these, a number of Group A services.
Yes.
So why do you prefer Group B services over Group A services?
Sir, I've heard that the opportunity to work there and to learn there is better over the other Group A services that I've been later.
Or was it just a mistake or at the time of filing
No, sir.
filling the form?
No.
It is deliberate choice?
Yes.
So you feel Andaman Nicobar, these Group B services give you offering better?
Yes, sir, because in those services I want to be posted as an SDM, though in those states, but my level of experience and learning would be greater at that post.
Actually, it's just extension of such question.
Yes.
That is, you have preferred Punjab and Haryana
Yes.
as your home cattle, and you say that you are more interested in working in the rural areas.
Yes.
You want to be in your own state, and you want to go to the rural areas. Why is it? It surprises me.
Right.
Why is it not that you could have picked up some of these larger states like Rajasthan and Uttarakhand?
So like you mentioned, I do want to work with rural areas, but at the same time, I want to remain close to my home state and my family also. Though I'm ready to work all over India, but my preference remains this. So Punjab and Haryana, that is where I want preference.
Of course, you will be going to be getting posting anywhere.
Yes,
right?
that's right.
Now, the basis of commerce is geography. You agree?
Sir, commerce deals with trade, and trade has to be spread over a large area. So yes, geography is concerned because if we see areas which are in remote areas, the trade is also not that good there. So commerce is in a way related to geography.
What is trade difference between trading and business?
So trading.
Is it that both of them are the same or different?
They are different, though almost similar, but they are different because trading just relates to buying and selling of goods.
And business?
And business is on a larger scale. It covers trade.
What is mean by larger? Larger means?
So on a broader.
Do you want to substitute this word or you will persist with this word, larger?
So I don't see any harm with the word. I see larger in the scope of broader, as in it covers trade.
That means broader is a much better word?
Yes, that is
Okay.
it. Right.
Okay.
So trade, manufacturing, the enterprise level functioning. So that would be business.
Name one good trader in India. I give you a hint.
Yes.
If you can go and decipher that.
Right, sir.
They are two brothers.
Right.
They are now the biggest and the largest and the richest family in the country.
Right, sir.
Okay? Both have inherited a huge amount of money. One of them is an unlimited business as well. One of them being the largest businessman in the country with the highest amount of finance at their disposal.
Yes.
One of the brothers is a trader, other is a businessman. Whom are you referring to?
So Reliance.
Okay. Who is a trader and who is a businessman?
So Mukesh Ambani is the trader and Anil Ambani is the businessman.
How?
So as from your definition.
No. It's the other way out. It's the other way out. Because Mukesh Ambani builds in building brand. He builds in having a good amount of integrity in his business. He tries to be. It is Mr. Anil Ambani who is trying to trade with it. That is unit in Asia communication and other things as well. It's the other way.
Well, Pala,
Yes,
it
sir.
will be one thing. Have you heard of Ram Rajya?
Yes, sir.
What was that?
Sir, Ram Rajya relates to a nation which is built on the Hindu religion fundamentals, and also it refers to a state where crime and all such other activities do not find place.
If you compare that Ram Rajya in the present context, Indian context,
Yes, sir.
which one do you find better?
So the earlier Ram Rajya was.
It was better.
Yes, sir.
I don't agree with you.
Alright, sir. May I know the reason?
Yeah, you may know the reasons. You know, Sita was stolen, and poor Ram could not write even a single FIR there at that time. No single person came for his rescue, except monkeys and other animals, you know. So was it the proper Ram Rajya of your opinion?
Yes, sir. In my opinion, it was a proper Ram Rajya because first of all, even his brothers came to Ramji's aid and helped him rescue Sita. Secondly, the Ravan Apharan was only the Sita Apharan by Ravan was only an anomaly in those times. Here we find recurrent law and order situations because of which we need a mechanism like FIRs. There, the integrity level of the people was well established, which didn't require such mechanisms.
Okay. And can you define time and space?
So define time and space. So time is a unit of, sorry sir, let me take a minute please. Time will be something which we measure is in seconds, in minutes, in hours. Space is something that is around us, the atmosphere around us, or
Though only what we call it, time is history
right.
and the space is geography.
Okay,
Right?
right sir.
So on the entire paraphernalia is roaming around time and space.
Right sir.
Achha, have you heard the name megalomania?
No sir, I haven't.
Okay, megalomania. How will you explain it? Megalomania. We have two examples of megalomania in the world.
Alright sir.
You have heard Führer, Hitler.
Hitler, yes sir.
Yeah. Hitler was the first example and the second one was Napoleon.
Okay sir.
Presently in India we have a third example also but not reported. Achha, who has said that violence, veiled or unveiled, must be taboo?
Sorry sir, can you pardon?
Violence, veiled or unveiled, must be taboo.
Sorry sir, I haven't heard about the quote.
Which you have not gone through Mahatma Gandhi.
So I haven't read any elaborate text on him, that is right sir.
You have some interesting literature also.
Yes sir, fiction mainly.
Fiction. Which sort of fiction you have gone through?
So I read Sidney Sheldon, I read Jeffrey Archer, John Grisham.
You have gone through Aisha, written she, written of she.
No sir.
No, not that. Literature also, I mean, other than fiction?
So maybe other would be
Classical literature.
No sir, not classical
No.
literature.
Okay, tell me something about Tuti Ahen, the Pirate of India.
Tuti, I'm sorry sir, I don't know about that.
And the last question, of course.
Right sir.
Who was Durrai Durran?
Sorry sir?
Who was Durrai Durran?
I'm sorry sir, I haven't heard about it.
Which race was the combination of the most horrible two races?
Of earlier times? What
Yeah,
is
of
it?
medieval times in particular.
I'm sorry sir, I won't be able to tell you that.
Sir, okay, well, there is a thing called doctrine of unintended consequences. There was an economist by name Locke who had actually given this doctrine. So, do you know what it is about?
No sir, I don't
You have no idea.
No sir.
It basically says, he had said this in the context that if you reduce the interest rates,
Right.
and that was the talk at that time, to help the borrowers.
Right, sir.
Then if instead the poor borrowers, and instead of helping them, it will actually harm them because people will stop lending
Right, sir.
money. So that is what it was. They, do you know, have you heard about Maslow's pyramid?
Yes,
This
sir.
you would have read
Yes,
in your
sir.
MBA.
Right, sir.
What is it? What's
So it talks about our need levels. It gives 5 levels of motivation needs, which starts with your basic needs, then your safety needs, moves on to the social needs, and then your self-reliance need, self-esteem needs, and the self-actualization needs form the top of the pyramid.
Yeah, very good. So what is it used for? How do you, I mean, what is its practical application?
Yes.
Why is it taught to the MBA students?
So it is given by Abraham Maslow, and he talks about the theory of motivation. So he says that motivation can be derived by fulfilling the needs of the people. So therefore, this classification tells us that a person's need, first of all, he says a pyramid level is to be achieved. We start with fulfilling the basic needs of the people. Once those have been achieved, then the needs of the people move on to a higher level. So we have to fulfill those needs.
It means that basically money is not always the best motivator.
Yes, sir.
Beyond a point, it ceases to be a good motivator.
Yes, sir. That is exactly what he has tried to point out.
Okay, tell me, there have been many incidents of rape in the country.
Yes.
And there was a talk to make rape an offense punishable with death.
Yes, sir.
Do you think it would be a good idea?
No, sir. I would disagree with the idea of making rape punishable by the act of death.
Why?
Sir, because first of all, I think death would not serve as a very strong deterrent. In fact, I feel if such a strong punishment is given, then the rapists would not leave the girls unharmed. They would actually like to kill the girls. So that
This is, exactly the doctrine of unintended consequence,
right.
which I mentioned just now. You're saying the same thing, that
Yes, sir.
what you are trying to do is something,
Which
but
would
what
contribute-
the outcome will be just the opposite.
Right, sir. Very true, sir.
And this is this is something which one needs to apply in the administration very often.
Yes.
Then in your MBA, you have done accounts.
Yes, commerce and congratulations.
What is capital budgeting?
Yes, sir. So capital budgeting, I'll start with the basics because a company needs to fund different kinds of investments and funds are always not available in that.
That I know, but you
Right.
just tell me 2-3
So-
techniques of capital budgeting.
So NPV, that is net present value, that is one technique of capital budgeting, which sees that the present value of all the
Just name the thing.
right. So then second would be IR, that is internal
IRR,
rate. Then third would be PI. Then there are rate of return, internal rate. IR was internal rate of return, which is a traditional technique. And capital rationing is also more innovative form of capital budgeting.
Which one? Last one?
Capital rationing.
Capital
Rationing.
rationing.
Yes, sir.
Now, did you hear that recently the government of India changed the way of working out the GDP?
Yes, sir.
What was the change they brought about?
Yes, sir. So first of all, we have moved to the concept of gross value added. That has been the major change in it. Secondly, we've changed the base year from 2004-5 to 2011-12. Thirdly, we have added a number of services and products in this new computation so that to give a larger, broader scale. Fourthly, earlier, some services like transportation, they were considered a part of the service sector. But now, because they are linked to the manufacturing sector, their GDP will be included in the value of manufacturing. So these are the major changes in the GDP computation.
So, and now as a result of this, our growth rate this year has gone up by 1 point.
So it's reached 7.4% from earlier around 6.8%.
It's about 1 point, I think 7-8% it has increased.
I'm not sure, sir, yes.
So every year there will be a similar increase?
No, sir. So first of all, obviously we do hope that our economy is on a growth track because even the economic survey mentions that the downturn in the economy has now stopped. But the recent surge has been mainly because of this change in GDP computation method. So such high levels of growth change might not be witnessed in the near future.
What is your take on the fuel prices?
So fuel prices have recently gone down.
Right.
That have a number of reasons to contribute to that. First of all, the oil production all over the world has increased, because of which our market economy follows the rule that
How the oil production is?
So first of all, USA has found large amounts of shale gas, so that has been a major reason of increasing oil production. Second reason of decreasing oil prices is that the global demand has decreased because of recession in some economies like Europe, of Germany, France, China. Thirdly, there has been some amount of infighting amongst the oil-producing nations of Saudi Arabia, Oman. These all factors have contributed to the decrease in oil prices or the crude
So
prices.
do you see the oil prices remaining low for some time in future, or do you see them going up again?
So for some time in future, I do see them as low, because if you would allow me to speculate, now that the Iran and USA deal is coming to a near about end, therefore we would have Iran again back in track for handing out the oil resources. Therefore the supply will further increase. So for the near future, with the other trends remaining in place, I do foresee a decrease or stabilized oil prices.
Tell me one thing, WTO people were kind of writing off this organization, saying that they haven't been able to kind of do anything. Is the Doha round was going on endlessly and so on.
Right, so.
Now recently they concluded a deal. What was that?
So India concluded a deal with the WTO, after which the price stabilization agreement, the peace deal, was signed with the WTO, under which for 4 years or something, a time frame around that, Indian agricultural produce will not be subject to a higher price and Indian subsidies will be allowed. Following this, the WTO forsake an agreement, which was I'm sorry sir, I'm forgetting the name of the agreement, but which related to the trade neutralization all over the world and
Facilitation.
and yes, a trade facilitation agreement, and which has been signed after India was okay with it. Thank you, sir.
Well, just a few. Please, please go ahead.
Now we're talking about oil.
Yes, sir.
Now, is it not that whatever science that going to be emerging, OPEC looks like non-probability is going to rupture, it's going to break.
Yes.
Then the oil prices is going to fall further. I mean, if we are talking about test liquidation.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So, yes, sir. I do agree. There are chances of falling further or remaining stabilized.
And then belligerent gesture of Saudi Arabia, that is, they have said that by hook or crook, I mean, whether we're going to survive or not, we're going to keep the prices down.
Yes, sir.
In response to United States.
Yes.
Okay, this one part. What will be the role of the Caspian Sea countries, all of those countries, Azerbaijan, Ukraine, and other regions?
Right.
And in this light, I'm just going to analyze the position of Sevastopol. How is it that it is going to be making a role for itself in decreasing or increasing oil prices? How is it that the Russian occupancy of Sevastopol will going to have a role to play?
So, Russia has Ukraine crisis has unfolded after the Russian occupation of Sevastopol. And I'm sorry sir, I'll have to formulate an opinion before linking the oil issue with Sevastopol. So Russia is a major producer of oil, as we all know. And if oil prices decrease, then probably the economy of Russia, which is already facing a lot of sanctions from the Western countries, can go for a downturn. And in this hurry, Russia can move to secure its borders and therefore try to dominate its position further in the area of Sevastopol and Ukraine.
That's correct.
Yes.
Do you know about emotional differentiation?
So I can guess about it, I haven't heard the term.
Okay.
But that could relate to that every person's emotional needs, emotional feelings are on a different scale from that of others.
No, it's not so. It's about differentiating words like that of who is a friend, who is a companion, who is a lover.
Alright.
It's about differentiating.
Okay, sir.
Now, can you go to frame an answer now? What
So-
exactly is the difference between a friend and a companion and a lover, a companion, and then a person you want to spend time with?
So I can try about that. So a friend is someone we can share our day-to-day feelings with, our day-to-day activities with. A lover is someone we go on for a more deeper understanding and who we fall back on any case that we need. A companion, I would believe, is
Who understands you better, your friend or a lover?
sir, friend.
Friend. That means that the relationship that you're going to be having with lover is on a completely different scale,
Uh,
a different, not a scale, on a different form.
yes, in a different form, that is true.
Okay. So if you are in a distress, who will be much more helpful to you?
So if I'm
In a distress, then who will be much more helpful to you, a lover or a friend?
so both can be helpful to me.
If you're going to fall down and you start bleeding,
Right,
right?
sir.
What will be the response of a lover and a friend? Is it that will be the same or will be different?
So as far as I perceive it, I would expect my lover and my friend both to be highly sensitive about any.
Yes, they will be, but what will be the general response? I mean, if they have two different feelings towards you.
So a lover would suddenly come to my care and try to pick me up,
And friend will run away.
No. I mean the friend would try to get help so that my injury can be tended to.
Your friend may go to help you, take you to hospital.
Yes.
Maybe your lover can go to get terrified enough
Okay.
not to be in a position to help
Exactly.
you. And a companion is one,
Sir, I'm not exactly able to differentiate between a companion and a lover, but
and a friend. Companion is one who can goes on to give you good company, makes you happy. Right?
sir.
Is he your friend?
Yes, sir, you can say
Maybe.
it is your friend.
Maybe.
Yes, sir. Exactly.
Is it not that now we are using these words very loosely?
Yes, sir, we indeed are.
Sir.
This is your third chance.
It's the third chance.
So did you qualify for interview earlier?
No, sir.
No, this is the first
Yes,
time you qualified. So we are talking about Russia.
right, sir.
USSR was disintegrated in many countries,
Right, sir.
but the USSR thought of keeping Chechnya and they are not allowing them to be independent.
Yes, sir.
Do you know what is this reason for it?
So I don't know the reason for it. I know the situation in Chechnya, that is kind of insurgency is going on there, but I don't know the reason for not.
Is there any strategic reason?
So there could be. Chechnya is on the border of Russia. Therefore, probably Russia wants to secure its borders. It already interferes Western
No, but
independence.
it has made a number of borders countries with their independent.
Yes, sir,
Earlier
it
they were
has.
USSR states.
But I believe that it hasn't made any of them independent out of its own choice. As far as USSR was concerned, it always wanted to remain.
Or does it provide the only corridor to the Mediterranean Sea?
Sorry, Mediterranean Sea. I'm not very sure about the location of Chechnya, sir. What I know is that it's on the border of Russia.
I see.
So,
Coming to, you're talking about friend and
companion.
companion and so on. What is your take on, what do you think about institution of marriage? Do you think it has outlived its utility now or still?
No, sir, I don't think it has outlived its utility. Obviously, we can see other forms like wills, but marriage is an institution that brings in itself the purity of form and the feeling of commitment, which cannot be seen in any other kind of relationship.
So suppose tomorrow you have a friend or you have a lover, you like him, you want to marry.
Yes, sir.
And your father says, no, I'm not allowing you to marry her.
Right, sir.
He's not good enough.
Right, sir.
What will you do?
So I will try to convince my parents. I do not marry against their wishes, but I will also not marry anyone else as long as I'm in love with that person. So I will try to convince my parents of the goodness of my lover and of the purity of our meeting.
And they don't convince.
So I will try keep on trying till they
People
get
trying
convinced.
for that. I see. Now in Haryana you find there is a mismatch between male and female population.
Right, sir.
Do you know what is the reason behind it?
Yes, sir. There are a number of reasons behind that. The most prominent amongst them is the male patriarchal mindset that still persists in Haryana.
That is in other states
Yes,
also?
So
What is so specific of Haryana?
Right, sir. So what complements is that Haryana is basically an agricultural state, and therefore more male hands are perceived to be required to help in the agricultural families.
So is in UP and other places, these are all agricultural states.
So, what do you think? How has been your interview?
Sir, actually I liked it quite a bit because there were a lot of questions that I hadn't ever imagined of or thought of. So,
Such as what were the questions that were beyond the comprehension of your imagination?
so whatever sir asked, those were completely beyond my comprehension, and that indoctrination subject that sir asked, those were quite, I never imagined that.
What is exactly your strength and weakness if you can go to analyze
Sorry,
it?
sir.
What are your strengths and weaknesses? Can you analyze it?
So my strengths is that I'm a determined person and I'm willing to work hard for everything I want to achieve it. And I believe that I have good confidence that I can undertake all kinds of difficulties in life. My biggest weakness, if that's what an interview answer, I believe is my speed. I've given interviews other places also, and everyone's told me that I tend to speak a little fast. So that is something I want to control in. And if the weaknesses as for the interview general answer would be, that I believe is that because I'm so determined and willing to work for the best, I feel that could be a pullback for a teamwork. But I do feel that I can take it in a positive way by motivating my team to move along with me. Secondly, I think I'm a little emotional in some cases and people can tend to misuse me for that.
Interview board.
Yes, sir.
The interview board.
Right, sir.
No. How is it that interview board can misuse you?
No. Actually,
No, she's talking about her personal.
General.
right, sir.
Okay.
So, and for that also, but I believe that I need to know, I need to gauge the person so that I know which people are to be trusted and who are not to be
No,
trusted.
here we were asking, we wanted to know in the interview that you took recently, just now. In that, what were your weaknesses and what were you thought were strengths?
So first was my speed. My weakness would be that I think I was still a little paced up, and secondly, a little short of knowledge in some of the matters that were asked to me. These are two weaknesses that I can watch. My strength, I think, was my confidence level. I didn't get scared by anything I did.
That's good. I think that your assessment is absolutely correct.
Right.
So of course on the
Sir, I will go to activity. If this board doesn't going to intimidate you, that means you are really confident.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. please.
So of course you on the interview day you're going in a proper attire. Some
Yes,
people will
sir.
definitely advise you of that.
Right, sir.
And you come from civil service family, so you know definitely
Yes.
how to do all that. So I think that aspect we are not touching. Some issues we were not in a position to ask, like your hobbies, dance, and so on and so forth.
Yes, sir.
Generally, questions are asked
Right, sir.
according on the subjects we mentioned here.
Yes, sir.
So, commerce and accountancy also, because most of the members may not be really very good in commerce and accountancy. Generally, boards are made from the old GP.
Yes.
But generally, commerce and accountancy may not be there.
Okay.
But still, at least the major issues, the recent trends you should be aware of,
Right.
because someone may know a little bit, or somebody may prepare and come and ask you if he knows about this kind of thing.
Right.
So about hobbies and about this subject, of course, you will prepare. And then recent events we have not concentrated much on.
Okay.
Similarly, on the day of election of the interview, in the morning you should have a look at the major papers and main headlines.
Right.
And while on way, you should crystallize your mind as to if some question is there, as to what are the question answers you are going to get.
Right.
Because speaking slow, it always helpful because it gives you time to think on the subject. So if you can sort of restrain a little bit. So when is your interview, Arjun?
So I haven't got the data as of yet.
So that means you do have time,
Yes.
and you can practice it as with your
Yes,
friends.
actually,
So I think that should be curable.
yes.
That's not it could be strength at one point, but here, since you need time to think,
Yes.
to answer,
Right.
if you do it very fast, you might contradict yourself, you might commit some mistake.
Yes, that's right.
So in this interview, you did not contradict, but there may be an occasion.
Yes.
But if you are speaking very fast, so there may be some contradictions. So as these are
Are you in Chandigarh or in Delhi?
So Chandigarh.
Chandigarh. I would have suggested you that is because both of these sirs are having a seminar, sir on election reform and Parvati sir is going to do telecom and environment and forest. You could have been prudent to be a part of it.
So
because-
when are those scheduled?
Sorry,
So when
you
are
can go to get it from Malik.
Alright, so,
Right. So it would be prudent to spend some amount of time because you're going to have an in-depth analysis of certain
yes,
things.
so that would be very helpful.
That is knowledge part will be taken care of.
Yes.
Right. And
I just wanted to supplement a little.
Yes.
I think you are conscious of the fact that you speak a little fast.
Yes.
So you have, I think you have this time actually not done too badly. Because when we were reviewing, none of us said that you speak too fast.
Alright, exactly.
And second thing is that you did a very good thing that on a couple of occasions you said that you think and reply.
Yes.
Or you said that this is an opinion and I'm you're venturing into this. So I think those are all very good attributes. So I would say on the whole you have done absolutely superbly, but still in the sense that sometimes it helps to pause and think and then reply.
Yes, sir.
So be conscious of it a little bit, but don't let it kind of, cramp your style. You came out very well as it is.
Right, sir. I will take care of it.
See, I am observing it from a point of view of a psychologist,
Right, sir.
right, rather than being a scientist and so on. That is, you were a different girl when you came for the interview. You are a different girl right now. When
Yes.
it's a complete contrast, this is what is original of you.
Yes.
Now, with this type of your whatever body language, you will be able to develop a much better chemistry with the board rather than with the previous one, because previous one was by and large mechanical.
Yes.
This is more like the board will go on to think that well, मेरी बेटी की तरह है, और गाड़ी से काश ऐसी मेरी बेटी होती।
Right, sir.
क्योंकि some of the bureaucrats, I mean, I'll be apologetic to sir both of them, कि उनके बच्चे बिगड़ जाते हैं। तो सोचते हैं कि अच्छा ऐसा होता तो कितना अच्छा होता है। And very good number of them. I'm going to think कि ये तो बड़ा प्यारा है, बड़ा अच्छा है, बड़ी अच्छी लड़की है, काश ऐसी मेरी बेटी होती, मेरी बेटी उसमें सुधरी हुई होती। So if you can go on to think of just supposing some degree of a chemistry,
Right.
like, which you are capable of. It's not that it has to, you have to learn this part.
Right.
It is in you. It is in you. By the way, you are Papa's daughter, Mama's daughter.
Sir, more of Papa's daughter.
Yes, looks like so. Looks like so. That's why a bit aggressive and so on. That's why.